Until recently, the Yakuza series, or Like a Dragon in Japan, were mostly niche games with a small cult following in the West. I had heard of the IP, but hadn't actually played one of the many entries in the series, until Sega started working on and releasing the games in something resembling a chronological order, starting with the release of Yakuza 0. For longtime fans of the series, playing Like a Dragon Ishin, a spin-off set in the 19th century, remained a dream. Originally a PS3 exclusive and only available outside of Japan as an import, Sega delighted and surprised us last year by announcing it would be remastered and released on all platforms within a few short months. As with the older Yakuza games, the lingering question was whether the passage of time had been kind to it. Like a Dragon Ishin has you playing as Ryoma, a young, low-cost samurai returning to his home city of Kyo, the modern-day Kyoto. He is returning to a society structured along even stricter hierarchical lines than the rest of Japan, with the samurai occupying the highest strata of society and terrorizing the local populace to enforce ancient laws meant to reinforce this inequality. He's drafted by his adoptive father and brother into the Loyalist Party, aiming to topple the current government. Like the mainline games, Like a Dragon Ishin comments on societal ills and takes a definite left-leaning bent, while still presenting the player with a fun and over-the-top entertaining spectacle. Unfortunately for Ryoma, he's soon accused of murdering his father, who was a high-ranking bureaucrat, and finds himself joining the Shinsengumi to uncover the plot to murder his father and find the assassin who carried it out. If he looks familiar to Yakuza players, he should. He's played by the same actor who plays Kiryu in the mainline series. The same goes for other characters who are filling similar roles to the modern-era games. This can lead to a brief sense of déjà vu, as returning players might often misremember the lore from the wrong game. However, once you take on the view that these are just actors typecast into a similar role, kind of like in film, you can sit back and enjoy the game for what it is. In terms of overall game design, Like a Dragon Ishin follows the same template as the mainline series. It's an open-world game that has you exploring the city while pursuing the main story quests. During exploration, you'll come across various thugs, government stooges, and other enemies that you'll have to battle with. As you might expect, you have access to 4 different fighting styles, all suited to different enemies and bosses. You'll recognize many common fighting styles, but unlike a Dragon Ishin, it's the sword and gun style that's the standout option. As for the first time, it mixes gunplay with hand-to-hand combat. It's fast, fluid, and brutal, something akin to the flowing dancer style in the mainline games, mixed in with the brutality of the brawler style. Now, while combat in the Yakuza games tends to lean towards the more ridiculous, almost cartoon style of violence, the setting in Like a Dragon Ishin lends itself to more brutal, violent, and a gory aesthetic. Ryoma will shoot, stab, and sometimes kill his way through the game, while heat actions can be quite visceral. Thankfully, most battles end with bad guys just backing away from him, chastened and injured and having learnt their lessons, rather than bleeding to death on the street. In between battles and the pursuit of the assassin, you can engage in a number of minigames, including gambling and karaoke. As this is 19th century Japan, the usual business minigame had to be adapted for this time period. Instead of investing in real estate or bakeries, you open up a farm that allows you to play a fun if simple Stardew Valley type game, planting and harvesting crops. These crops can then be used to cook meals, while the surplus is sold to the town. It's a relaxing game mode that, at first, provides a nice break from the grind of the main game, though it soon loses its shine in contrast to some of the other minigames. A new and unique pair of minigames are accessible once you join the Shinsengumi. The first is designed to give you a chance to grind for the orbs that you use to level up your different fighting styles. These are basically dungeon crawls to clear out bandit bases, and are not narratively linked to any of the story elements. The second activity on offer is collecting officer cards that allow you to apply extra buffs and power-ups, and even call in various characters and animals who will deal extra damage via special attacks, most similar to the summons in Yakuza Like a Dragon. The grind to level up is real, but at least it's a fun and great way to switch off your mind and take a break from the cinematic-heavy story quests. Now, on the whole, Like a Dragon Ishin has been worth the wait and adds some much-needed variety to the Yakuza IP. It's great that it's finally available globally for long-time fans, but it also serves as a good introduction for those curious about the series, without the time to play through the lengthy mainline games. For existing fans, it provides a fun, self-contained story that will remind you of all the reasons you love the Yakuza series in half the time.